Hey guys, this is Troy.
And Alex.
We are Two Dudes in Sports. So a couple weeks ago, we talked about the NBA season, roughly close to the halfway mark, just before the deadline and All-Star break. We're heading into the All-Star break, and the trade deadline has come and gone, and it's time to look back at these trades. So we're going to talk about trades basically from February onward, since those are pretty much considered deadline trades, with the first one being one of the biggest L's in recent history in the Blazers trading away Robert Covington. Because if you guys don't remember, they traded like a first or two firsts to get him like literally 2 years ago. And now they traded him and Norman Powell to the Clippers to get Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, Eric Bledsoe, and a Detroit second-round pick. What?
So I think it's pretty evident what the Blazers are doing. They are blowing it up. They had probably the most above-average team in the NBA, if not the West, for a few years. And now they've decided, listen, clearly we don't win. Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are great. They don't win. Yusuf Nurkic is cool. He doesn't win. Portland is not a winning city.
No, they're not.
They are blowing it up. They've gotten rid of McCollum. They've gotten rid of those are two good pieces on their team, and they had Gary Trent, who is great for the Raptors right now. And I think I think this offseason you'll see Nurkic gone. You'll see Lillard gone.
I don't know if he's gonna leave. He might, but who knows?
Hopefully not to the Knicks. I'm serious. I don't want him. I do not want Damian Lillard. And whoever, they're going to be bad.
They're going to be bad.
They're going to draft Greg Oden again.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the Blazers is just, you, literally just got rid of multiple assets to get Covington, and then you get him away for basically nothing. It's bad trade. The Pacers are actually, literally announced they're blowing it up, which, well, we'll get to it a bit later, but the one piece everyone thought would get traded didn't get traded, and all the rest did. But, so the Pacers traded away Karis LeVert and a second-round pick to get Ricky Rubio, a first-round lottery-protected pick, a 2022 second from Houston, and a 22 second from Utah. So the important thing to note about this trade is Ricky Rubio is out for the season. So the Pacers got a guy who's not even playing and won't play, whereas the Cavs got another piece that helps them with their championship run because they're going for a title this year. So, and there are links that say Rubio, when he becomes a free agent, might just sign back with the Cavaliers.
Because he was having the season of his career. He was playing awesome.
Borderline all-star. So it's the Pacers, Ricky Rubio, I feel was just kind of thrown in there. I guess what it might have been is it might have been a way for the Cavaliers to get more salary or something. Because the Pacers probably know Rubio's probably never going to play for him. But getting a first and 2 seconds for Karis LeVert, I think it's fine. Because the Cavaliers got a second-round pick as well, but they got it from Miami, whereas the Pacers got a Houston second-round pick, which that's probably a 15-spot difference. So the Cavaliers, I think, overall won the trade because of the fact they're going for a title, and the Pacers just got a couple picks. I don't know. I feel the Pacers it was a okay move, but Cavaliers was a great move.
I don't think that there's anything more the Pacers could have done.
True.
This is the state of that franchise. They've been mediocre to above average for 20-plus years.
Basically since they drafted Reggie Miller.
And they have not changed. They haven't made it to the finals. They don't do anything. They're just good. And then they'll win 48 games, and they'll get eliminated in the first round. And that's how it's been for the last 20 years. So they need to make a difference. They have, this is obviously the worst year they've had in a while. So now is the time where you got to blow it up. You can't not.
Just to think that literally 7 years ago, the Pacers were the best team in the NBA. Just think about that. And they still could make it to the finals. That's sad. This team, the best thing the Pacers have had all year is had Lance Stevenson come back. Literally. That's the best thing that the franchise has had. Because at least fans are happy. The team is bad. Bad. CJ McCollum trade. So we mentioned a bit earlier. So CJ McCollum got sent to the Pelicans along with Larry Nance Jr. and Tony Snell. The Blazers got Josh Hart, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Tomas Satoransky, Didi Lazadia, a 2022 first-round protected pick, a 2026 second-round pick, which they get whichever is better between the teams, and a 2027 pick, same thing. I'm going to be real with you. I don't understand this trade. The Pelicans, you're not winning. Like, I hate to break it to you. You're not winning. Zion is not playing this year. And if he does, so what? He's going to play like 10 games. They're not making the playoffs. Zion's not going to carry a franchise to a title. So, your best player all year has been Jonas Valanciunas. Brandon Ingram's been okay, but not as good as he was the first year. So I don't get why the Pelicans are like acting like they're going for a title when they're not even built to win a title in a couple of years. They're just not built to do anything. They're literally CJ McCollum went from being on an above average team to a average team that might become above average. I don't get it. And the Blazers, I guess they're getting picks. I don't know. This is one of the trades that I just don't understand. I just don't get it.
I think that I like the trade for the Blazers. I think they get a couple nice young pieces and some picks. Eventually they trade away one of them, you know, not that long after. But for the Pelicans' sake, I guess I get pairing more shooting with Zion. It definitely doesn't look like he's playing this year, but if he should be able to play next year. And when he plays, he's an all-star. He was an all-star starter, regardless of what you think of his status as a fan-wise. He was an all-star starter last year. He's 22-7, and he jumps high. Okay, so that's the stat. He's going to provide you good basketball. Brandon Ingram is a scorer. Jonas Valanciunas is exactly what Jonas Valanciunas is. He's like
underrated, but always on mediocre teams.
He's like a Walmart Steven Adams.
Well, they have Steven Adams too.
No, they don't.
Oh, that's right. They traded him, didn't they?
Yeah.
How about that?
And so adding CJ McCollum.
Is that a team that can realistically contend for a title? Because this is a trade that screams winning a title, and it's starting lineup with Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, and Zion. I don't even think that screams second round chance. That screams play-in tournament. That screams above average. That screams off-brand Portland Trailblazers. I'll be honest. I think Dame, CJ McCollum, and any third best player on the Blazers is probably just as good, if not better than that. So it's weird.
I think that if you give it 2 years and they stay at the same, they're banking on Zion's becoming a star. Zion's becoming an MVP player. Then that's where your team is. The biggest mistake that the Pelicans have made in the past 20 years was not keeping Lonzo Ball. And that's what it is. That was the guy, that was your point guard. Brandon Ingram is not a point guard. Zion is not a point guard. CJ McCollum is not a point guard. Who was your point guard? I don't even know who they were starting. Tomas Satoransky? That's not a point. That's not a valuable point guard in the NBA. So they have to get a point guard to balance out this lineup, and they needed to keep Lonzo Ball. He can play defense. He passes. He shoots. That's exactly what they needed. But this is, it's more. It's just not really a horrible trade, and it's not a great trade. It's just right on that line for mediocre for both teams, really.
Yeah, because the one thing with the Pelicans that's hard to look at is Zion has been playing 3 years now. This is his third year. He has been healthy 1. That's not good. When you're this young and you're already this injured, that's not good. Now, I will say this to be fair. Frank Gore tore his ACL twice in college, and he went on to be the oldest running back in football for 6 years. So that could happen. But with Zion already being hurt twice, making any move that helps better the team with him being your centerpiece is a huge risk. Because there's a legit chance that he doesn't even play a game next year or the year after. He hurt his foot and he was supposed to be out 2 weeks, and then he got fat and then people made fun of him for being fat, and he stayed fat, and then his foot doesn't heal. Just as stupid. And then another trade that a lot of people didn't get was the Kings-Pacers Domantas Sabonis trade. So some people thought Sabonis was going to be the hardest player to move because of where teams are in terms of how they're built with Sabonis. So the Kings got Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2023 second-round pick. The Pacers got Tristan Thompson, Buddy Hield, and Therese Halliburton. The Kings are the Kings. Why do you trade for Domantas Sabonis? You're not good. Your team sucks. You literally just got De'Aaron Fox is your best player. Fair to say? That's their best player in the
That's their best player.
Your second best player is either Buddy Hield or Therese Halliburton. So you basically got rid of your second and third best player for a second best player who, granted, is way better than both Buddy Hield and Therese Halliburton. But you have no depth. You already had no depth, and now you have even less. And it's just, I don't get it. I mean, Jeremy Lamb or Justin Holiday might be their third best player. And then it's just,
I mean, Sabonis is great. I'm not really sure what the plan is for the Kings right now.
I guess win a title.
I mean, they're gonna. I don't know.
I mean, they're the Kings, baby. That's what they're thinking. They're like, oh, we got Sabonis. We're gonna win the championship.
I don't know what the plan is to win a championship, but if you're the Pacers and you're trying to blow it up, this is the most incredible trade that you can have to start.
I would disagree with that for one reason. Therese Halliburton, awesome pick. That one, that's a great pick. Buddy Hield's not gonna stay with the Pacers. Why would he?
I mean, I don't think that even matters. Like, Buddy Hield can leave. You have your next star right
Therese
there,
Halliburton is great.
and you got him for a guy that you developed too. So it doesn't really
Remember, they didn't even develop him. They got him from the Paul George trade, I think.
They got
They got him for free.
They got him for Oladipo and they got Oladipo and Sabonis for Paul George.
I mean,
but you trade this guy who's great. He's awesome. He's been good for a couple of years, but he's not he's a great 1-2 punch with a good point guard. Now, if Halliburton was with him, that's awesome too. I think it works better than I think Halliburton and Sabonis works better than Fox and Sabonis, but at the same time, it's like now you've got Halliburton and you keep Miles Turner, who I still think was arguably the best player on that team.
Yeah, I'm shocked. Everyone's shocked he didn't get traded.
He's a stretch 5 that leads the league in blocks.
It's shocking he didn't get traded. They literally traded everyone but him.
So now you've got your guy of the future. You've got the star. You've got the guy that you're going to headline. This is kind of where you make your money. You get more sales. In Indiana, there's not a lot going on. Big basketball state. You got this dude who can bring you back to that point. All you have to do now is build that team around him. I don't think you're going to land a massive superstar.
No.
No one wants to come to Indiana, but no one wants to go to Sacramento either. So So at the same time, it's like, all right.
And you know what? At least players who are picked by Indiana or they're young like to stay. That's the one difference.
Yeah.
If you're drafted to Indiana, you're probably going to stay. But if you're drafted to the Kings, you want to get out of there as fast as possible.
Yeah. No.
Unless you're De'Aaron Fox, apparently.
Or Chris Webber, or Jason Williams, but then that's when they were in the championship, man. I think surrounding Halliburton with a guy if you can, if possible, if you can sign another dude like
Julius Randle,
a wing, yeah, sure, like a wing player, that's pretty good, and then you just let these guys develop, build some roster. This is a great team in the future. I think they can really actually make something out of this, and I like watching. I think the Pacers are a fun team to watch growing up. The Pacers were always fun. They had Paul George. You always want to see LeBron lose. So I think that this brings them back.
Roy Hibbert as the center.
Roy Hibbert, George Hill,
Lance Stevenson.
I mean, it's a fun team. This is what they like. They can go back to that pretty easily. It looks like with what they just did.
They can. I mean, Therese Halliburton, great player. KZ Okpala got traded for a second round pick. Who cares? The Thunder got him. The Heat got a second round pick. Okay, next question. Okay, no offense to KZ Okpala, actually no one knows who that guy is. Okay, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, literally a day after getting traded, got traded again.
Yeah,
I
don't understand this.
Okay, so the Jazz got Juancho Hernan-Gomez and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Why? The Blazers got Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes. Why? The Spurs got Tomas Satoransky, also traded again. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I never heard about this trade, and I'm looking at it. So, Joe Ingles, one of those moves that screams you're trying to win a title. Why? No, they're not. This seems like they just kind of shuffled around a bunch of players for, literally just shuffling them. I mean, the only move that I guess makes any sense is the Jazz getting Alexander Walker to, I guess, be a young player. But, what the heck? This is stupid. It's just literally just shuffling players.
Yeah, no. You for the Blazers' sake, you got rid of probably the best part of that first trade, other than the picks, which was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I like Josh Hart. I think Alexander Walker's a little bit better. I think he will be in the future. Did Serge Ibaka go to the Bucks in this one?
No, this is not that one.
Okay. For the Blazers also, getting Joe Ingles is all right, well, he just tore his ACL and he's on an expiring contract. I don't understand why you get rid of this young player for a dude that's never going to play for you.
Got to be something to do with money.
He's going to go back to the Jazz.
You know, I think that's probably how they got the second round pick. They're probably taking on his contract, and that's why they got the second round pick.
And honestly, if this trade could shake up, this could go real bad for the Jazz. If they trade away Joe Ingles and don't bring him back, Donovan, and they don't get help, Donovan Mitchell he's going to leave.
Yeah, I mean, they've been losing every year, and they've constantly had the best defensive player in the league. They've constantly had, the guy who can just block everything, and then now it's like you're losing piece of your side guy. The Jazz are perennial losers. They're like the Pacers, except instead of almost always being knocked out in the first two rounds, you get knocked out in the third round. Jazz, cursed franchise, bunch of L's. Yeah, weird trade. The Magic Celtics trade, weird one. The Magic got Bol, PJ Dozier, a second round pick and cash, and the Celtics got a second round pick. I know this is a shock, but I think the Magic won that trade.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, it's one of those trades where it's if this isn't Bol, and this is anyone else that's below average center, it's who really cares? But there was a lot of hype around Bol, so now people are excited, and yeah, he's cool, he's tall, he's lanky, and he might be okay, but I don't really care. This trade's not going to affect the NBA.
Remember, the Celtics got Bol and PJ Dozier in a trade in January. They were involved in a trade to get them, and then they're getting rid of them for a second round pick while also giving them money. This is a bad move. The Celtics lost. Worst part, this isn't even a 2022 pick. This is a 2023 pick. So the Magic are going to be a better team next year. So the Celtics are getting a worse pick than they would if they got it for this year. So I just don't get it. It's a bad move.
I don't think it's a move that was meant to do anything. Celtics are on a 9-game win streak. They beat the Sixers by 48 last night. I don't think that they're really I don't think that Bol or PJ Dozier or that second round pick or those cash considerations are doing anything for them right now, because they don't need to look into the future. They need to look into right now. This is the time.
Then why get a second round pick?
You got to trade them for something.
It's just bad. Oof. I think it's an oof. Okay. It's just it's just weird. And that was the first trade from the trade deadline day. So, and now all these rest of the trades are from it. So the Raptors and Spurs trade, the Spurs got Goran Dragic, who they already bought out, and a 2022 first-round pick. The Raptors got Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, and a second-round pick. I mean, essentially the Spurs traded a second, and those two guys are basically a first. That's pretty much all it was. Another trade that, so what? Raptors aren't that good. Spurs aren't that good. I don't think this really helps either franchise a ton. Like, if the Raptors end up missing the play-in game, it can help the Spurs by getting them a lottery pick. But weird trade to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
How about this one? The Suns get Aaron Holiday, and the Wizards get cash considerations. You ready for the next trade?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
No, I don't think that
another Suns one. Okay, the Suns got Torrey Craig and cash considerations, getting that cash back. The Pacers get Jalen Smith and a second-round pick. Another player the Pacers got rid of. I think the only important thing is the Pacers got a second-round pick. That's it. Jalen Smith, who dat?
It's another, I don't really care. Yeah, it's not going to affect anything.
And then another one. So it seems like he went from being like 6th man of the year to being traded like every 2 minutes. Montrezl Harrell gets traded from the Wizards to the Hornets, and the Wizards get Vernon Carey Jr., Ish Smith, and a second-round pick that was Boston's pick.
This is a good trade for the Hornets.
North Carolina basketball, maybe we're not going to be bad. Harrell is a good upgrade over Ish Smith and Vernon Carey. Vernon Carey did pretty much nothing, and Ish Smith's been So, I think the Hornets won that trade overall. Harrell... the Hornets are trying to actually be good this year. They should be good with who they have, so I guess find out. The Hornets, legendary team with LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward.
Miles Bridges, who feels like he was in the news every 10 seconds.
Well, don't forget, they got the guy that every Hornets fan basically worships as God himself, Mason Plumlee.
That is accurate. Yeah.
So, yeah. And now we get to the of course, because almost every year there's at least one 4-team trade. Whether or not it's important or not, always seems like there is. So, the team that literally the day before we're recording this had a player score 50 points against the Pacers, and that player might start with a G in his first name and A in his last name, just got Serge Ibaka, a Sacramento second-round pick, a Detroit second-round pick, and cash considerations. They gave up Vanya Morankovic, Dante DiVincenzo, and that's it. They gave up those two players and got all that. They won. They won this trade overall, I think. Because people are saying DiVincenzo's important. He was hurt all year last year, like playoffs. He didn't even play.
I think he's good.
It's just, if you won a title without him...
Definitely gritty.
You won a title without him, and now you get Ibaka, and you get 2 really good second-round picks. So the Clippers got Rodney Hood from Milwaukee, Semi Ojeleye, from Milwaukee, and then Vanya Morankovic. The Kings got DiVincenzo, Josh Jackson, Trey Lyles, David Michiniu, and a second-round pick from Detroit. And the Pistons got Marvin Bagley III.
Yeah, no, why even? It just feels like it. Who cares? Again, I just don't care about these trades.
Marvin Bagley III was picked 1 pick above Luka.
There are He did look pretty good out of college. But
2 picks above Trae Young.
He looked good out of college.
I
just don't care.
The Kings getting DiVincenzo, I guess, helps solidify their we're gonna win a title this year mindset. Clippers getting Rodney Hood, okay. When you look at it, the Bucks clearly won this trade.
Yeah, no.
They clearly won.
But did we really need is
Ibaka's a champion. He won a title with the Raptors.
Are the Pistons getting, Giannis?
They're getting Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Hey, they're getting a second overall pick player.
Yeah.
From 4 years ago, who sucked and been hurt every year.
It just doesn't matter.
Okay, I want to talk about this because I just want to rant about this for a bit. So, for literally the past 5 years, the Celtics' best center has been Daniel Tice, who has consistently been among the league's worst starting centers. Of all the centers you could have be your legit starter, Daniel Tice is an L. They finally got rid of him. He signed and left the team. You know what so the offseason comes. One of the biggest stories was Dennis Schroeder essentially losing $70 million because instead of signing an extension, he signs a 4-year or a $6 million deal with the Celtics. Enes Kanter changed his name to Enes Freedom, and then Bruno Fernando. Those 3 guys got traded to the Rockets for Daniel Tice. Bro, Daniel Tice, every time I watch a Celtics game, Like, I've watched a lot less basketball than I have, like, this year than I have most years. But every time I would watch a Celtics game for a couple years ago, I'd be like, bro, this dude is such a bum. Daniel Tice is your starting center, and you think you're going to win a title? No, you're not. You just traded for him. You just got rid of Dennis Schroeder, who you literally got basically for nothing compared to what everyone thought he was going to get paid. You got rid of one okay depth guy in Ennis Freedom and then Bruno Fernando. Why? Why are you bringing back Daniel Tice?
They need something.
Dude,
I don't
oh
really
my
get it
God.
either. I like Robert Williams, but if Al Horford is just bad, then they need something. And if Ennis Freedom is just bad,
You traded for Daniel Tice.
I mean,
Dude, if they had only gotten him for cash, I'd say the Celtics still lost this trade. You just gave the Rockets this is
the Rockets.
this is so bad. See, in most cases with a trade like this, because you can say, oh, the Celtics just like Tice. Well, yeah, in most cases like that, it's they trade him away to get picks, and then he signs with them as a free agent. Not he signs with another team as a free agent and you trade him back. The Celtics lost this trade solely because they have Daniel Tice in the roster again.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's better than whatever they did have, I guess. I don't know. It's like I don't think it's really gonna make that much of a difference.
Just watching the bubble and just seeing this, like, he's the stereotypical like white basketball player. He just does nothing.
The best thing that could have happened for Daniel Tice, I guess, is that now he's not one of the worst starting centers in the league. He is now one of the better backup centers, I guess. I mean, Robert Williams is the center. He is the Time Lord. He is going to. I mean, that's the dude that the Celtics like. When we played them, he was really annoying to play against. But like that's the dude. That's the guy that is going to lock down the paint for the Celtics. I don't think you have to worry about Daniel Tice playing defense or playing as a starter for the Celtics anymore.
Okay, and then another Celtics trade. The Celtics got Derek White. The Spurs got Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, a first-round pick, and a 2028 first-round pick swap. Celtics got to do is like scoring like 11 points per game. Yeah, it's just I feel like they kind of overpaid for this. I think the Spurs got more than they really should have for Derek White. I don't know if Derek White is a first-round and Josh Richardson type player.
I don't think. I mean, I think he's probably a little bit better than Josh Richardson.
And a first.
I mean, if that's
and Romeo Langford.
If that's what they.
And a first-round pick swap in a few years.
If that's what they think they need, man.
Yeah, if they think they need Derek White and Daniel Tice to win a title, I'm all for it because you know what?
Listen,
that means my team has a better chance at winning because the Celtics don't.
Listen, man, the 9-game win streak.
Listen, man, teams have been on win streaks before. I mean, bro, remember at one point the Lions had a better record in a month than the Rams did. And guess what happened? The Lions.
I don't even think they had a win that month. They just had a tie.
A better record. Okay, now on to so now there's the last two trades, which are pretty much probably the two most impactful. Because one involves my team, so therefore it's the most impactful. The Mavericks trading away Porzingis. Tingy Pingy has been traded. The man who plays like he's a shooting guard despite being like 7'3" is finally not on this roster, which I am so happy about. It's just, even though he was actually like not terrible this year, because he's been bad the last 2 years, he's been actually good this year, but it's like, I'm pretty sure he's hurt again. I mean, he's played 34 games, which for him is a lot, and he's been putting up really solid numbers-ish, like 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, but like, it's just, I'm so glad he's gone. I really, as a Maverick fan, I'm glad he's gone. It's just, watching him play is so aggravating.
You don't have prime Tingus Pingus like the Knicks did. One of those days with Kristaps Porzingis and Emmanuel Mudiay and Michael Beasley.
And they were solid, like, 19.
Michael Beasley was the greatest player of all time for like 3 weeks. It was awesome.
So the Wizards also got a second-round pick. The Mavs got Davis Bertans, who genuinely I don't care about. But Mavs got Spencer Dinwiddie, and even though he's having a worse year than he used to, I'm okay with that.
I don't think that I don't think that Spencer Dinwiddie fits in with this team at all. I don't know where you put him because you're definitely not playing him over Luka.
No, you're not.
And I think Jalen Brunson is better. So I guess he's a 6-man, but like at the same time, I just don't know where he would I don't get it. I don't get the trade really.
Well, here's
one
thing that I will say that I don't get about it. I mean, the Mavericks, you can say what you want about how great they are. I mean, they just pwned the Heat like yesterday. But, like, who's their center going to be now? Is there, you know what?
Dwight Powell?
You know what? It's funny to say it, but legitimately Boban might be their center. Because if you look at their roster and you do purely what they are technically listed as, their only listed center is Boban. That's so funny.
Gonna have to play him, man.
I mean, the Boban. I mean, at least unlike Kristaps, he actually does, go for the ball, I guess, on the rebounds. It's just, I mean, you're going to have Willie Cauley-Stein play more probably. Dwight Powell, it's just, I like that they got rid of Porzingis. It's just and I like that they got Dinwiddie, even though he's not a great fit. It's just, you didn't get a center. And you just lost. You're only other. They're going to be playing small ball with two guys who are 6'8" shooting threes, because Maxi Kleber's 6'6" and he just shoots threes. And it's just okay. And then I guess we got to talk about this other trade. I mean, it wasn't that big a deal, right? The other trade wasn't that big a deal. I mean, it was just Ben Simmons and James Harden.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just the 76ers getting Paul Millsap and James Harden, and the Nets getting Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, the first and the second at first.
I think for right now,
Nets won the trade.
The Nets definitely won the trade.
Nets won the trade.
But for right now, James Harden is going to be lethal with Joel Embiid, especially if he's just because. When he came to Brooklyn, he became more of a passer, and if he can, Embiid is. I don't care what you say about Jokic. Embiid is the best pure center in the NBA.
Yeah,
and
pure center. He's not the best center, but pure center.
I think Embiid is the best center in the NBA.
No, he's not.
I think he is.
The Joker is well. Here's the thing: Embiid might be up there for best center discussion. The best player in the league is either Giannis or the Joker.
And it's Giannis.
I don't know about that.
But you pair him with a dude that's won an MVP, looks worse, but in reality, did he really want to be in Brooklyn? At that point, was he just playing bad to get out of Brooklyn? He went to his number one spot, and now you've got a team with a struggling Tobias Harris, who who probably won't be their second option anymore, so they can actually use him. You've still got Tyrese Maxey. You've still got all these good pieces. You lose Seth Curry, which sucks, but Andre Drummond, losing Andre Drummond does nothing for you. What were you going to use Andre Drummond for at that point?
Probably the Dwight Howard role Dwight Howard's last year, but even then it wasn't that big.
It wasn't even, he didn't do anything.
But, here's my thing. Some people think the Sixers won the trade because it helps them win a title right now more than the Nets. But, one, I don't think that's true. And, two, here's the thing. James Harden, he left the Rockets because he was injured, quote-unquote, and he got fat, literally, honey bun man, and because he was unhappy. Now he's unhappy with the Nets. He doesn't like it. He's getting fatter again. He's unhealthy again. And now he's at the Sixers. So what's to say he doesn't do the same thing with the Sixers, literally next year? And then, let's just say this. Let's say he's not faking all this. Let's say he's, actually doing bad, unlike last time. You're getting a struggling James Harden. He's still good. It's just he's not as good as he's been before. So it's why? And here's the thing. I hate Ben Simmons. I think he's the most overrated player in basketball. I believe this. If the Nets were to have only gotten Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and the 2 firsts, they still would have won this trade. Seth Curry legitimately was probably the Sixers' second best player. Because there are games where he will just take over and prove that why he's the brother to Steph Curry and will be awesome. You'll never see that with Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons basically physically can't take over a game. So,
I think.
And then Andre Drummond, he's going to get you, if you start him, he's getting you 15 rebounds a game.
I think what's interesting is Ben Simmons.
Ben 10.
He's the best nickname in the NBA. And it is the coolest nickname in the NBA. It's the coolest one since AK-47, for sure. But Ben Simmons is going to come out, He's going to play some insanely good basketball and then come back down to earth a little bit. But I would not be surprised if he comes out and he's shooting like he did in the Summer League in 2016. But just because, look who's around now. Okay, so he had Joel Embiid to teach him how to shoot on the Sixers. He had Seth Curry, obviously great. And then Jimmy Butler, who's a good shooter, not really known for it though. And then like Tobias Harris. You've got Kevin Durant now. Okay? Who is like...
Yeah, but is he going to be healthy enough to teach him how to shoot?
I'm not going to...
Is Kyrie even willing to help a kid get good at basketball?
I would say the Sixers just up their chances at a championship by times 10, okay? This James Harden trade is going to make a difference for them. This is what they needed. They needed this scorer. They needed someone to run an offense that could actually shoot.
I just don't see it. I just don't.
And for the Nets, this helps Kevin Durant stay. This is going to keep him there. And next year, if they already don't look like, championship odds this year, they are going to be better next year if they stay healthy. They're going to be the best team in the league. They have a defender. They've got a rebounder. They've got a shooter. Now you can start a lineup with, Durant, Simmons, Kyrie, Drummond, and Seth Curry, and have Joe Harris come off the bench.
Well, and the dude that was from the Spurs.
And Aldridge.
Yeah, because he's back.
And Blake Griffin and Cam Thomas and Day'Ron Sharpe.
But you know what you're sounding like is what you're saying right now is sounding like every Lakers fanboy talking about when the Lakers are healthy. Because
but the Lakers have no shooting whatsoever. This team does.
They do have shooting. It's just shooting that won't ever go in. Westbrook.
You can shoot as many times as you want, but
I'd rather go like 1 for 29 than 0 for 7.
If LeBron got this trade, he would win.
Thrilled.
He would win.
It's just for both these teams. I'll be real with you. I don't see how in any universe either of these teams make it out of the East. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't see how either of them beat the Heat. And in the battle of if healthy, I don't know if they beat the Bulls healthy. And the Bucks are far and away the best team in the East. Far and away. They add Ibaka, and Giannis is playing even better than he has either MVP season. So it's at the end of the day, both these trades. Yes, I think obvious the Nets won this trade. But you have to judge it on right now who can beat Giannis. Ben Simmons can't guard Giannis. So, L. Seth Curry can't guard Giannis. L. Drummond might be able to out-rebound him. That's good. He won't help stop him score or pass, but I guess he'll do that. And then the Sixers, it's like you get James Harden, but so what? With Simmons and with Embiid, and with Curry, and with Tobias Harris, you couldn't even beat the Hawks. So you think you're going to beat the Bucks now? And as for the Nets, you beat a Bucks team that wasn't as good as they are this year. And yeah, you had people injured and stuff. But now you don't have the Harden's injured excuse because he's not there. Kyrie's literally not going to be there half the time. KD might get hurt again. So for the main reason I see the Nets winning this is because I feel all the players mean nothing. They got 2 first-round picks. That's why they won. Because neither of these teams are beating the Bucks. Neither of them.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think that the way that the Sixers look now, just because they have a dude that can drop 50 and has dropped 50 in 8 games, 8 games can average 45 points because he's done it before.
Giannis can score 50.
Okay,
Luka almost scored 50 in back-to-back games.
Yeah, but the Mavs aren't good. And they're better than the Knicks, but that doesn't mean they're good.
Well, be fair, there's very, 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 very few teams worse than the Knicks.
The Knicks are bad. The Mavericks aren't good.
They're 5th seed in the West.
Not going anywhere, will you?
Hey, 5th seed in the West. I can at least say, hey, we're literally the same as we were the last 2 years. 5th or 4th seed in the West. And we're probably going to play the Clippers in the first round again. And we're probably going to lose to the Clippers again. Just like the last 2 years. And this time, instead of blaming Kristaps Porzingis, we'll blame Mark Cuban for hiring a Nike executive to be his GM.
Well, is there any other trade?
There have been no other trades.
All right, well, I guess that's it for now.
Yeah, this has been Troy
and Alex.
Two Dudes in Sports. We'll see you in the next one.